Well, hey there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peaks Peak. Today we are, well, we're actually on a part of the property that you've maybe never seen, because this is kind of a nice little front corner of the upper part of Peaks Peak, I guess you would say. And I try to keep this kind of mowed out. It's a nice little open area up here on our playground. We don't do a whole lot with it right now. But today's video is about our last mowing up here of the trails for the season. I'm gonna do something today that I have never done. I always use my bush hog to come up here and cut everything, but we've been cutting it for several years now, and I've got most of the stuff cleaned up other than a couple of new down trees and limbs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try the mid-mount mower on this and set it at about 4 inches and try to mow it and make it look nice, and just see what a difference that makes, because we have a 5-foot mid-mount mower but a 4-foot bush hog, and the grass is pretty tall, so it's going to be quite a bit for this mid-mount mower to handle. But I have made a few preparations. I've got the chute drilled to where I can put a bungee cord on it, raise it up so that it flings the grass out further. So hopefully that will be enough to make it so that we can mow this up here and get a nice cut, and we'll just kind of find out whether it's quicker or slower. It may be slower even though we have a bigger mower deck, because I may have to drive slower, but I just figured it was something worth trying out, so we're gonna give it a shot. Some preliminary thoughts about how I think this is going, but what we mowed right here is kind of like mowing the front yard. I knew it was pretty cleaned up, pretty smooth. The grass was really tall, so it kind of, you know, gave the mower a workout, but it also was pretty quick and easy, and maneuverability in this area is way better without that bush hog hanging off the back, just being able to use the mid-mount mower. I could have even more maneuverability if I drop the front end loader, but the reason I leave it on when I'm up here mowing and even running the bush hog on this stuff is because you have limbs down, and sometimes you know, logs and things like that you don't want to have to get off the tractor and move, so you can use the loader to push it out of the way or clean up or whatever. So it's handy to have that loader here. Now, I have thought about taking it and setting it off to the side, but sometimes I also use it running it close to the ground, just to make sure that I'm not going to hit any stumps or anything like that. Now, at this point, I pretty well know this property. You know, as soon as I say that, I'll hit something with one of these blades. And you know, the one downfall to running a mower like this over running a bush hog is the fact that the blades are fixed on a mid-mount mower. So when you hit something, it's going to slip your belt or break something. Whereas on the rotary cutter, they swing freely, so when they hit something, they just bounce back out of the way. It doesn't have the potential for nearly as much damage as when you hit something with the mid-mount mower. So we want to make sure that we don't do that. good way to spend a morning. It's riding around on the tractor out on the land, cleaning up trails. My buddy Ed over at my cluttered garage posted a picture the other day of him standing on a log, and it said something about the excitement of a grown man having his own woods to play in. And I told him, I said, that is exactly how I felt when I got my farm. All my life I'd been working toward having my own playground. And this is our playground, and I love it. But anyway, that's a digression. We're talking about mowing our property with a mid-mount mower instead of a bush hog. And I will tell you, so far, everything I've mowed except the motocross track has been fantastic with the mid-mount mower, because I have all those trails cleaned up, the rocks picked up and all that. But on our track, we come up here, we ride, we stop, we pick up rocks and just throw them off to the side because we're preoccupied with riding. But unfortunately, that means there are a lot of rocks in this grass. And we're gonna have to do something about that, because I really wanna be able to mow it with this mid-mount mower, but I had to really be careful. I had to run the deck up on the highest setting, and I still hit several rocks. Gonna have to do some blade sharpening when this is all over with, I think, so. Stop here on the trail next to the cabin and the permapotty to just kind of wrap up my thoughts about mowing all of my trails and fields with the mid-mount mower, because it was definitely a different experience. I think overall it might have saved me a little bit of time. I think the biggest thing that I noticed that was a positive is that it was a whole lot easier. When I run the bush hog, I've turned around a lot, and that wears on your neck, and I don't have the greatest neck and back anyway. So by the time I'm done, I'm nearly sick and my neck hurts. So I don't have that feeling. Maneuverability and ease of strain on the body, the mid-mount mower wins hands down. Now, I will say I don't necessarily think the mid-mount mower did any better job of putting a finish on it. In places it did where the grass was thin, but in the thicker stuff, it left so many straggly weeds that honestly, it doesn't really look any better than the bush hog does. The other thing is, it seems to be pretty hard on the mid-mount mower, all in all. There were a few places where, you know, you just can't keep it off of rocks or roots or whatever. So you got to be really watching, and you need good, clean property in order to do that. And we're just not quite there yet, not everywhere. So probably going to do some work on that, because I think what I want to get to is to be able to, in general, come up here and do my mowing with the mid-mount mower. It was a whole lot more pleasant experience for sure. But, you know, I don't want to tear up my machine. So just thought I would kind of share with you the comparison. You guys got to make your own decisions on what fits your property and all of that. But I always had in my mind that you use a bush hog to do all of your basic pasture cutting and trails and all that kind of stuff, the rugged things, and then you mow your yard with a mid-mount mower. But I think once you get your trails established and your fields cleaned out and everything, you know, nice and neat, maybe switching over to the mid-mount mower is not such a bad idea. So that may be what we're working toward. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good day.